So a lovely flight over to Grafham Water with Lee. This was the 15th of March. Winds were quite strong, probably 6 or 7 miles an hour. Not too bad, but strong enough for a reverse. I don't usually like doing reverses, but I do one here and it kind of went okay. So I went out for an hour and a half. George filmed our takeoff and landing. Thanks very much, George. And I had a great time. Went over the north side of Grafham Water and we saw an abandoned building. And then on the way back flew through the central part of St Neots. So yeah, it was a great flight. Really enjoyed that one. Here's my launch. And not as smooth as Lee's, but getting better on the reverses. And off we go. And here's the launch from my point of view. Came up quite nice, lines look good, turn around and a little bit of power and off we go. So we played around a bit at the airfield before we went off on our little trip, and this little fly down the runway here got quite close to Lee. I think he was a bit nervous of me pushing him into the power cables or the hangers, but I was very mindful of not boxing him in. All went well, and then after this little jolly we set on our way. So there's a plane parked in someone's garden here, and I had a closer look and noticed there was a little runway. So obviously a farmer or someone with a bit of land has got himself a little runway and just parks his plane in the garden, which is pretty funny. So ahead is an abandoned building, so I was quite curious about that. Haven't buzzed by this before or even noticed it, so thought I'd drop down and then have a look, pull my trims in, and it looks like an old abandoned farm building. So if anyone knows what it is, let me know in the comments. Just curious to know who owns it, why it's abandoned. Is it going to be built on again? What's happening with it? So it looks like it's been abandoned for a while. There's stuff growing out the barns. Here we are flying over the northeast side of Grafham Water. Lovely sunset, lovely clear still lake, even though it's quite windy, so I'm quite surprised to see how still it was. Coming down the west side now, people waving at me. I hope they're not telling me to bugger off, but they seem happy to see me, so I thought I'd wave back. This road here is the A1, which goes all the way from central London, right the way through the centre of England and up into the middle of Edinburgh. So a big long road. Then flying over central St Neots, but at about 1,000 feet, so keeping well clear. Plenty of fields to the right there to land out in. Always have that in mind when flying over an area like this. It's nice to fly over the centre. I've never actually done that before. And then we're on our way back to the airfield, so lovely sunset as well. So annoyingly, more often than not, we have a westerly wind, so when I'm coming back, the sunset is always behind me. So I have to sometimes just do a turn to have a look at it, and then keep going, do another turn, have a look, keep going. But very nice nonetheless. As George has come to meet us with his drone, and is just filming me do my descending wide spiral down just to lose some altitude, and then he comes in and films my landing. So cheers, George. So I was pretty happy with this landing. Kind of swooped in, and then a little gust of wind just plopped me down really gently onto the ground, so really happy with that.
Yes!
And here's the view from George's drone.
Yes!